Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Baggage Claim Unpack Your Bags with Dr. Danita. I'm your host, Dr. Danita, and I'm excited about tonight's episode of SMS Cures for Social Media Sickness. On the Baggage Claim Show, we seek to present relevant, everyday life topics that impact mental and emotional health in some way. And then we offer tips, we offer suggestions and remedies for wellness and wholeness. Social media sickness affects both the young and the old. There's loneliness, people experience isolation and anxiety and depression, and there's bullying on social media. It breeds social incompetence, all of the unrealistic friendship and relationship expectations, and then there's just so much more. This is a sickness that is spreading rampantly, and the Baggage Claim Show is here to address it. Before we go on live tonight, just take a moment to share, to like and share, and don't forget to head over to my YouTube channel at Dr. Danita Thompson and subscribe. Then don't forget to hit the notification bell. Are you ready? Let's go live. Welcome everyone to Baggage Claim Unpack Your Bags with Dr. Danita. We are in season 4 already, and this is the first episode of season 4. Tonight's topic, or this season's topic, is SMS Cures for Social Media Sickness. Before we get started tonight, just continue to come on in and like and share. Do what we do. Like and share. If you are a fan, go ahead and type in that I'm a fan and we're watching, looking at the feed. Type in that you're a fan. If you are new to Baggage Claim, let us know where you're viewing from. And again, like and share. And so we're going to bring on our guest for tonight. We have a panel tonight that is back by popular demand. Our panel, back by popular demand, we have Karan, we have Kwaitra, Q, we have Tori, and we have Kiara here on tonight. And this is what we're going to do for the entire season. We're going to have the panel pop in. We're going to have the same guest on for several of the episodes, and we're just going to have fun with this topic. You all know that I love, as a marriage and family therapist, that talking about relationships is what I do. And so tonight's topic is hashtag relationship goals. And we're going to talk about how social media impacts relationships. And so I'm looking forward to digging in tonight with this topic. And so we know that although social media does have very positive benefits in helping people make connections and establish relationships, the quick communication opportunities. We also know, and also, just getting suggestions and advice and tips and things like that. But we also know that it could wreak havoc on relationships. Social media, unmonitored, uncensored, it can, as it relates to relationship, it can decrease time together. Connections can get missed. Jealousy can arise. All kind of negative comparisons. We know that's very the negative comparisons are happen a lot. I should just say there's these unrealistic expectations, and just people not being on the same page as it relates to privacy. I want you to post me. I don't want you to post me. You don't post me enough. Um, just not in agreement, and that can create issues for relationship. And then there's just all the perpetration. The people that are fake and filters and all of that. So tonight, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to dig in, and we're going to start just by asking, What is your definition of relationship goals? What are relationship? What is this relationship goals?
I don't know. There is no definition anymore. Let's be let's be honest. I don't know. I guess it's changed. Um, it's just changed over time with social media. It's changed the whole entire platform of what a relationship goal looks like. But I'll let some of you ladies explain what traditional relationship goals look like. And I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm here for all the smoke. So ain't no teaming up on me. Because I'm here to hold my own. Because I already see it. I feel it. I'm just letting you know right now. But I'm gonna let y'all go though. You know what I'm saying? Somebody y'all can go.
Are you asking what our relationship goals are, or what is
No, no,
being
no.
the relationship goals now these days?
Just what does it mean when somebody says hashtag relationship goals, or what is that relationship goals? Just the concept relationship goals.
Yeah, well, it's really just a social media fad, if we're being honest. Everything that has this hashtag relationship goals after it is usually like surfacey, right? Like you'll see like somebody just went out all out for their girl or their boyfriend or their husband, wife, whatever on Valentine's Day. Somebody will say relationship goals, or the top celebrities are buying their significant others Porsches and land and houses and all that stuff, and so then you get the hashtag relationship goals, and everybody's like, yeah, this is what I want in my relationship. And it excludes reality, right? Nobody talks about, the actual reality of all these relationships. It's just the pretty part of the
Hmm.
relationship. Yeah.
So basically, it's the actions that people see other people who are in relationships, the behaviors that they have or the actions that they engage in, and it's what they desire. Those are the things that they desire, what they see other people doing, and how they
Hmm.
see other people moving in their relationships. So
Yeah.
that's what you would consider a relationship goal.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
fad.
in a
That's
snapshot, and usually over the top fantasy as far as percentile of what real relationships look like, aside from the goals, but just what relationships looks like in a general manner. Most of the times on social media, you're looking at like the top 1 percentile of what the average woman is able to do for the average man, and what the average man is able to do for the average woman, and that is hashtagged as a goal. You know what I'm saying? Which the word
Yeah,
goal is something that should be obtainable, which those things are obtainable, but you don't want to label it a goal when it's not. It's top 1 percentile. Let's just be honest.
right.
And so therein lies your opening of the door of what we're about to talk about. Really.
So I didn't realize that this whole I don't pay attention to social media to that extent, but I didn't know that the hashtag relationship goals it goes all the way back to 2009. That's when hashtag relationship goals actually started on social media. Obviously, it has taken flight. It probably
Right.
wasn't as popular then, but so when we see hashtag relationship goals, it's usually in reference to some celebrity, a celebrity couple, their beauty, their success, the glitz and glamour that comes along with who they are. But what are some of the more serious, realistic relationship goals that you have seen or even possibly posted yourself on social media?
Hmm.
Realistic things that.
I, I don't normally post relationship goals on social media at all. I stay away from the entire topic because first of all, people will try to distort your vision of what your relationship should look like off top. Don't know who you are. Don't know who your relationship person is. um, and so I stay away from the topic in general. But I think that the culture is just now shifting towards, or maybe it's being spotlighted just a little bit more on what a positive relationship goal might look like. Just a little bit though. So like, I don't think you'll find that much in the form of what will be thrown at you. I don't think you'll find that much positive relationship goals or realistic. You said realistic was the word that you used. Realistic relationship goals that you just see on social media is not mostly realistic, especially if you're talking about success.
Well, for me, I think it's important for individuals to be careful not to define realistic relationship goals based off of someone else or someone else's life. That's not your reality. And so the thought that we would try to make, what we see on social media as a realistic goal for us when some of us aren't even in a relationship.
Right. You single as a dollar bill over here talking about what your relationship goals should be. Ain't met them, don't know
Right.
them.
Right. And so, and I think that goes along with the SMS, just that whole sickness and trying to make what we see a reality for ourselves when wherever we are at that moment may not be realistic.
Right.
Right.
Before you go on, those of you who have joined us live, you see the question posted. You feel free to interact with us. We're keeping a watch on the feed. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Whitney, Tiffany, Jacqueline.
So I'm going to go ahead and open up the can of worms real quick.
All right.
Wait, I was about to say something.
Okay, say something. Because it's something into what Q said.
I was going to say that I feel like, on the other hand, like, realistic relationship goals probably shouldn't get posted anyway, because that is like very specific to your relationship. It's usually personal. You know what I'm saying? So 100%. Social media really only leaves room, because of how public it is. It really only leaves room for you to post the surfacey relationship goal stuff. Like, I'm not gonna get on social media and talk about the things that I want my man to do that are very specific to my life, my story, who I am. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna post a funny TikTok and be like, oh, this is cute, I would want my man to do this. I would, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like there also isn't really the space to be posting real relationship goals. But I think that they shouldn't be taken, like Q was saying, like, they shouldn't be taken so black and white, so cut and dry, so literal. Yeah.
Like I saw
so all or nothing. Yeah.
I saw a tweet about this girl. She was getting her hair done, and her hairstyle. They worked at home, and the kids were like distracting her, so it was taking her longer to do the client's hair. So she called her husband to come get the kids, and he came, picked up the kids, and she made sure like the dinner was done when he got back, so that way he can take care of the kids and he can relax once he got back. And I thought that was, in a way, goals, just not off of the specific situation, but just the teamwork that they had, and like the consideration that they had for each other.
I think that's an example of a good, healthy, and realistic expectation, for a goal that you would desire in relationship. And so I don't necessarily think that everything that we see on social media would necessarily depict unrealistic life or people being fake, but primarily people do want to show the best of everything. That's just human nature. And so it's very unrealistic to think that you're not going to get people who are even that couple that showed that whole I'm gonna pick the kids up and then she's gonna make the dinner. Behind the scenes after that, who knows who knows what's happening, even in their home. And so that could have happened like one time in in the entire relationship of parenting, for all we know. But nonetheless, it is a goal that that one would consider realistic. What else have you seen or have you posted? I know, Karan, you say you don't post.
Yeah, I don't. No, that was going to lead to my can of open worms because I really don't even feel like it's much of a. It's a woman-driven.
Oh Lord.
It is though.
Oh
It is a
Lord.
woman-driven hashtag. It just is. I'm gonna let you get to your questions. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that could go a whole different place. But I'm gonna leave that where it lay. And I'm just saying, check the stats, check the hashtags. It's driven by women of what they see on the internet, and they categorize it as hashtag relationship goals. And don't tell me I'm lying when you say y'all do this. And this is a direct tie to relationship goals to me. This is what women do. They see something. Well, let's go. They see a man. They meet him twice. There's some expressed interest. Within the week, they have mapped out their entire being and life together, maybe with this man. Maybe by next week, text messages fall off. We on to the next relationship goal. I'm not saying it's any of these ladies on this show. I'm just saying that has been shown
Wait, I'm
publicly.
confused. I'm confused at the point you're trying to make. So are you saying
I'm
that
not making points. I'm opening up the can of worms. Like, no, I'm just
oh, okay, go ahead. No,
I'm
no, for
stirring
real.
the
I was
pot.
just confused as to where you were going with that. Like, so
I just think when she asked me what do I post, I think if you ask a lot of guys, they don't post a lot of relationship goals because they are just busy. They are trying
want to be
to
in a relationship.
realist. Maybe. I mean, you can go there if you want to. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. I'm just saying, as far as when you see relationship goals on the internet, I do feel like it's a lot of women, seeing some very financially well off men doing some very financially well off activities for their women, and it can be hashtagged as relationship goals.
Well, I'll tell you that the faces that I see here. Hmm. Can you see the comments?
Oh no, I can't. Where are they?
Those faces right there.
Oh, the eye rolls. Hey,
Yeah.
listen. Hey, look. You can roll your eyes at me. I'm just telling you what it is.
Yeah, let me have these
Uh-huh.
comments. Let me have the comments open so I can see.
Karan, please. Oh, what? That's so it's not true. Prove me wrong. I'll be quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody
Your
Tell me
said,
what.
girlfriend said to
your
stop.
girl said, somebody stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Uh-huh. And
Nope. I
Toya
have
said
seen a
she's
lot of
seen a
guys post
lot of
about the
guys
things they
post
do for their.
about things that they do for their ladies. Mm-hmm.
No
Mm-hmm.
comment.
I can agree. I can agree that I feel like women are the ones to do most of the relationship goals posting. However, my personal belief is that that's because most women want to be in relationships as opposed to men who just want to be single and do their thing. So they're not really
Mm.
posting relationship goals. Because if we're being honest, the way that social media has relationship goals set up and the way men are these days, they're not winning when it comes to those type of relationship goals, right?
That's
They're
a
the ones
that's a
spending
that's
the
a hurtful
money.
fact.
They're the ones spending the money. They're the ones making the sacrifices. They're the ones doing all that, right? That's usually the relationship goals that we're seeing. So
Yeah.
no, they're not posting that because I mean we don't have to get into this, but I feel like men don't take pride in doing a lot of the relationship goals things anymore. I think
Mm.
men so much so now are like, "What you gonna do for me?"
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey, look, I didn't say I could speak for them all. I said what was going on, what I saw on the
Mm.
internet. I ain't say I could speak on behalf. Don't make me the forefront for these them what you just described.
Mhm.
Mm.
I do
Mhm.
feel like it's a lot of looking up to the men that can. saying why he doing all that when you don't have the capability to do all that. You don't know what you would do if you did. You know what I'm saying? There is a lot of that going on. I feel like, the guy that posts what he does on social media for his girl that's overly extravagant, I'm not mad at him, but I do see a lot of dudes that are, because it puts them to that's unrealistic. It's unrealistic for you because you don't have the money, but you would do it for him if you had the money. You know what I'm saying? I do get that. And there are things that you could do for your girl that you might, but that you tell me where that falls in line as far as the mental health thing goes. Because there's a lot of things that a man could do for his girl without money, but feels like he can't do much for his girl without money because of all the things that he sees on the internet. That's a real thing.
Her too.
As far
I
as what these girls
like,
are looking for, you know what I'm saying? Because you look on the internet, you see them describe it. They want a 6-figure dude or more or better.
And we had some of this conversation on our previous episode last season. But in thinking about these relationship goals that girls are looking for, so Karan says, and Kiara says guys are not trying to meet these goals or whatever. Do you think the generation lives in a fairy tale land?
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Where does fantasy begin? Real life end? Where does fantasy end? Real life begin?
Well, fairy tale ends when they experience the first roadblock.
That part.
And how they respond is where it begins.
That is good.
That is good.
With the face with it.
And what do they usually do? What's the fantasy response?
The hashtag relationship goals come down.
He ain't this, she ain't that. Y'all talk about it.
I agree. I mean, how many times do you see and again, I'm not gonna say who does this more or who doesn't. I'm gonna leave it out for y'all to decide. But how many times you see a dude meet or a person meet the first few goals that somebody is looking for? The pick goes up, reality hits, month and a half later, the picks come down. That's embarrassing. Come on. You couldn't make it 2 months. You don't put pics up of your new person, and now the pics is coming down because what? Reality met, fantasy ended. The first roadblock came. Reality met. How you reacted caused the pictures to come down on whichever side you want to put it up. But I'm just saying that happens so often.
Yeah, it seems like though that's the expectation. So it doesn't really seem like people get embarrassed. You said that's embarrassing. It doesn't really seem like people get embarrassed. Not the number of times that they.
I'd be embarrassed. I would be embarrassed.
They'll post the next person in 2 weeks.
Right. And so
not me.
I don't think that people are really embarrassed. I just think it's a norm, and it's expected that this is the way it rolls.
Right. It didn't work out, and so I'm moving on.
Danita, when the last time you see me post somebody on the internet?
I don't think ever.
Ever.
I said my next one's gonna be at my wedding, and maybe like after that,
might just be off social media by the time you get married, right?
Yeah, I might just go private and just remove everybody who I don't know, because I think it's weird that people like I don't talk to on a day-to-day basis would know the details of my life. Like you'll know that I'm in a relationship, but I don't think you should know like who I'm with and what they do, and you can go on their page and find out stuff about them. Like that's just very odd to me.
I've used these words before. I'm in a relationship. We've had this conversation. It's not the easiest with what goes on today. We're in a good place about it today. But yeah, I share those same exact sentiments only because of the condition of social media. I just don't like y'all like that. I don't even know why I'm on it. I really need to get right and just get off it for real, because I feel like I'd be more mentally healthy. But I got this social media attachment like everybody else. I ain't that deep in it because I don't even post that much, but I still won't get off it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just that part.
To have the limitations So I like changed the settings so I can't see like certain analytics, because I was really addicted to seeing like how many people sent my story to other people's, how many people saved my posts. Like,
That's real.
yeah. So I had to just take it off completely. And even like limit on iPhone, like you can set like the amount of time that you allow yourself daily to go on social media, because you can stay on there all day if I don't set those.
Check it.
April commented, no post until engaged, married.
Or close to it. I'm not doing the post delete thing. Like that's
No.
It's not happening.
No.
And then it'd be the post delete, slowly repost. Like you're just emotionally unhealthy at this point. Like you need what you need is a therapist at this point, because how you post
Everybody
delete
knows
and now
I
you're
just
coming
took
back
back
up.
this
Like,
man that I left. Like no, I don't need anybody to know that.
The subliminal posts when they take down the couple's pictures, like it's bad. I mean, I've been there, granted, but I won't.
I've been there.
I understand, but let's mature. Like one time, okay, but to keep on doing it and to keep taking them back, like we shouldn't know your relationship status that much. Like
That's
every
what
week
I'm saying.
is changing. It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it gets tough.
So I think maybe like on my story, but actual posts that are permanent up there, no.
24 hours,
now,
huh?
I'm still with the posting thing, because Karan was talking about how he's not into the whole social media thing or whatever. I would never force my man to be into social media just to post to me. But my thing is, if you posting every day, you can post me too. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you post everything else about your life
on the story though, not on the page, that we got to explain the difference. I still think the story is appropriate until y'all are at a certain stage, because you putting him in the same position. If he doesn't know if y'all gonna make it, he gonna have to do the post and delete too if y'all don't make it. So I'm not. I wouldn't.
No, yeah, this is all under the circumstances that whatever, we're getting engaged, married, like we're a thing.
Well, yeah, then that's true. Then
yeah.
I mean, I think under any circumstance, if you know you're getting engaged within a certain amount of time, yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it depends on the conversation you have. Just some people. Oh, you're saying if he posts a lot of other things.
Yeah,
if
the conversation is poster,
then
that's different. Yeah. But if he's posting everything,
but you,
then he can. There's a problem there. There's a problem there. Yeah.
It's such a culture. Like, it's so many rules to it, which is the sick part about it.
Yeah,
it really is.
And it's like a required discussion to have.
It certainly is.
Early in the relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is why I just feel like, me personally, I do feel like I shouldn't be on there, but I'm still on there currently. But keep your eyes open for the disappearance of Cassius K on Instagram.
The thing is, I have found some really good articles and things to click in on and ways to grow. There's a lot of people that I follow that provide real information, which is something that we need to talk about as well. There are so many media personalities that are providing advice and relationship education, and they have no experience, no education themselves, just based on their own life. And people are buying into this hook, line, and sinker, just buying into it. What do you think about that?
I think there's plenty of social media influencers that are fakes.
Yeah, it goes into the whole fantasy thing. Like, literally, like, the internet is not real.
It's just not.
Everything that you see on the internet is either partially real or not real at all. So I feel like social media has made it easy for people to be people they're not.
Right.
And sell things they don't have. And have degrees they never got. Like,
even like the whole Derek Jackson.
I knew you was gonna say. I didn't want to just come out the gate with it, but I knew somebody was gonna say it.
Like, I don't think that they're together now. I think that they actually like separated.
Mm.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Mm.
needed to happen.
Good for her.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know them personally, so I feel a little bit bad saying that, but from what the
And
other
again, we only know
from what the
based on
third
what we
parties put on
saw
it,
because we don't
you
live in the
know, but
house
there
with
was some
them.
third parties on the internet that put out some real facts, and he just came right back out like, "Don't worry, she's taking me back." Like I was like, "Wait, these timelines is not matching." Okay, this person just said on March 11th that on March 8th y'all just had sexual relations, and now it's March 15th, and you like, "Yeah, we gonna do this thing." Like, okay, that's a little soon, but whatever.
Well, yeah, we don't live with them, so we all know.
I know exactly. I hear you, but
But
like,
while we're talking about fake, one of the things that we were wanted to highlight because it's huge as well. It may not be always official like the show, but it happens a lot, and that's catfishing.
Mm.
Talking about fake, and so um, statistically speaking, 64% of 64% of catfishers are women. Um, 83% of Facebook profiles are fake.
Oh,
83%.
83%.
of Americans admit to falsifying their online profiles.
Wow.
These are high percentages.
Yeah, wow.
That's
That's
a
a shame.
lot.
Yeah, that is.
That's
That's
but
a
that
lot.
is still connecting to the whole fantasy of it all. That
Mhm.
so many people are getting on the internet being purposefully being people they're not.
Yeah.
Like
51% of people who engage in online dating are already in relationships.
Wow.
I almost fell
Wait,
out my
say that
chair.
again.
51.
51% of what?
51% of people who engage in online dating are already in a relationship.
Oh, that's crazy. That's
Wow.
dudes. You gotta get the male side of that, because that's definitely the dudes. I ain't gonna hold. I'm not telling on us. I'm definitely not telling on myself. But I'm just saying. I know. I talk to men, and that's the thing.
Mm-hmm. The FBI said in 2019, the FBI said that romance scams was the second most reported crime.
Of them getting money out of women, or women getting money out of dudes. Which one?
Or
We got to
whatever.
dig a little deeper into them numbers. Who's doing it more? Because it's 2022 and these girls is savvy out here.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
Who is scamming who?
The DMs. Dude, I don't know, Kiera, if you get them, but the sugar daddy inquiries.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just delete them.
Inquiries.
Look at
Yeah.
look at you.
Once a month. At least
I'm not ready.
once a month. There's a
Yeah.
sugar daddy in the DMs like, I just want to show you a good time. I'll pay you whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But funny stories, they be catfishes.
Yeah.
How'd you find
They be
out?
catfishes.
How do you know?
So really, you shouldn't be getting catfished in 2022 because it's really kind of obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you following 8,000 people and have 100 followers, you're a catfish.
If you have 10 posts and they were all posted within the last 24 hours,
Fake.
the quality of the picture, it looks like it was screenshotted multiple times. It's super blurry. Yeah. It's
All of that.
It's kind of easy now.
Yeah.
But there do be some real ones that like be like potential sugar daddies in the DMs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm serious too.
Mm.
And when you have things like, and hear me out because I'm not about to get no sugar daddy. I'm just saying. I'm just preface that. But with the way social media played out, you really be thinking like, I need a luxurious life. So if somebody is about to give that to me, okay, like this the new thing, this the new way girls are getting. It is the new way women are getting money. I will tell you that 100%.
Yeah.
I know multiple people who have had sugar daddies.
Sugar baby TikTok?
Yeah, it's a
what?
thing.
Yeah.
This
sugar
is real
baby
education
TikTok
for me tonight.
Yeah, sugar baby TikTok.
Can you define it real quick in 15 words?
Go ahead.
It's just like different worlds of TikTok. So there's people like telling how much they get from their sugar daddies and the trips that they go on. They never show the guy, but they just show all the lavish things that they get. Oh, he's taking me to Dubai today. He has a work trip this week.
And
So
that's a category on TikTok, or like an
yes.
underworld category on TikTok.
Yeah, so TikTok, on TikTok, like your feed like kind of matches to what you watch often or whatever. So you can find yourself like in certain like niches.
Because you looked at a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not an interest.
Because I don't get those.
You can find yourself in different like
Dr. Danita Q out here is like that. I ain't seen no sugar baby TikTok.
Listen, it really is intriguing though. Like these women have set up whole careers to be like as sugar babies. Like that's what
that's
they
really
do.
a thing.
And they teach other women how to do it on TikTok. Like where to go to pick up older men, like how much you should be charging for certain things. How you
hashtag relationship goal.
No, that is hashtag prostitution, underground prostitution.
But some of them don't even.
Yeah, they don't.
Some older men just want company.
They're not telling y'all.
Now I do think it exists.
So what is
I
the
do think some
percentage of
dudes are
that?
just strictly just spending money for the company. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yo, the one thing about the internet is it is so big. Like there are a lot of dudes out there that have the money, are just settling for sitting next to a beautiful woman, and what's to a 50 millionaire? What is a $7,000 trip to Dubai with a $5,000 shopping spree when he's 63?
Just for a conversation?
Yeah. Or just to be like the candy on his
just
arm.
To
like
be
if
the
going to a company
candy
party or like something, and he just wants a young thing on his arm, he'll pay her.
Right. So I get what you're saying, Karan, from the male's perspective. However, women, we have a tendency to get attached emotionally much quicker than a man does.
Right.
Now, I understand that you go in with this expectation that he's just going to take me on these trips and he's going to wine me, he's going to dine me, he's going to buy me the high-end purses, this, that, and the third. But we have a greater loss at any type of attachment.
I'm trying to tell you, the game jacked up right now.
Yeah, it is super. Because I hear what you're saying.
It's like that. I hear what you're saying, but
I'm concerned about the long-term effects of a temporal situation.
And I'm concerned about the emotional status of our women out here, because they are mentally numb enough to be able to work these things, and they pass couple relationships that they put they all into, done went sour. The internet is feeding into them what they should be getting, and they can certainly get that part of it. Let me give you the scenario.
I'm wondering.
Just an active scenario, and I'll let you go, Ma. Like they done pour something in. They bad. You know what I'm saying? Bad socially. You know what I'm saying? Like the world would consider them good looking. Them poured into a dude that ain't got no money, right? Two of them at least, maybe two of them. They ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Done got dogged out, cheated on, played out. And I'm not saying every woman moves towards this, but then you got this dude that potentially is not looking for anything from you. He's an old head or whatever, you know what I'm saying, got money. And you could not even get that from the broke dude that you put your all in, and they have become mentally numb enough that they don't even want to date another dude that looks good to them right now. They don't even want to go there. If I'm going to waste my time, I'm going to waste it out here in Dubai with this dude that's buying stuff with me, and I'll come back and get my head together when it's over. I'm telling you, I've heard this. Look at how they laughing. Like,
that is it. Like that's what exactly.
So Sedaris says that these sugar babies ain't getting attached to grandpa. I get it. That they're not getting attached to grandpa, but they're getting attached to the lifestyle that grandpa is providing.
That they ain't finna get from the next man.
So now, mentally, emotionally, and physically, they're compromising all of those things for what grandpa is providing.
Why we call them grandpa?
Because they be grandpa.
Well, and so what are these girls going to do? Piggybacking off of Q, what are these girls going to do when reality hits? That when it's time to settle down, that they don't have the trips to Dubai,
Right.
and Fiji Islands and
Right.
Grandpa.
Right.
They got everyday average working Joe.
I saw a girl. It's a talk show, kind of like this, like 8 at the Table, and the girl was saying how she has a new man, and the sugar daddy, whoever was affording her lifestyle, is still affording her, like still paying for her lifestyle. It's just her and her new man live in the house, and they're like that, like her new man is okay with it because he's like, we're just stacking our money now, like it's great.
Yeah, wow.
That's crazy.
And her mindset was, they were all arguing with her because she was saying how it's the sugar daddy's like responsibility, since he started providing this lifestyle to her.
I did see that.
Yeah, it's her.
Latina girl, right?
It's his responsibility.
I didn't know she was talking about a sugar.
I didn't know she was talking about a sugar daddy.
I don't know if
I didn't know she was talking about a sugar daddy.
You know what? I would get on that show and say, you need a therapist. You get a therapist.
No, they all do.
You get a therapist. You get a therapist. You get Grandpa, you need the therapist.
Yo, it's really.
She thought like that was his responsibility to upkeep her lifestyle because that's what he. Yeah, and they were all like, "That's crazy." Like
that's
it. She really put the dad and sugar daddy. Okay.
Right.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's social media sickness there.
And from a therapeutic standpoint, now my mind automatically went to, why is it that she feels like there's something deeper.
Mm-hmm.
There's something
in
deeper.
All of them.
There's something deeper to somebody being attracted.
The one that's accepting it, in the woman, there's something deeper. The fact that they could all get together and do this and accept this. It's so deep. Let's go back to the family of origin issues. Let's go back to the formative years. Let's go back to attachment. Right. Let's go back to abandonment. All of it.
Can you break that down? The family of origin issues? What are we talking about? I don't think the average person can.
So go back to how you were raised. What was the family unit that you grew up in? What did you miss? What was it that you were supposed to get? The attachment kind of things from your primary caregiver, your nurturer. What did you miss when you were growing up in your family that is directly impacting you as an adult now in the way in which you attach in relationships, the way in which you feel that, or the things you feel you need in relationships, or those things that are okay in relationships. You clearly didn't get what you needed in those formative years.
Right. And that's on both ends. That's not for the
all
young
the
woman. Around. That's for the older gentleman, grandpa, who feels like he has to do those things. I would love to know what type of relationship he had with his mother.
Right.
Because you give me a man who had a healthy, nurturing relationship with his mother, the way in which he viewed women is going to be very different than someone who didn't receive the nurturing and the care from their natural mother.
Right.
And you usually attach yourself. Unhealthy people will attach themselves to unhealthy people. They gravitate to each other, and so because somebody healthy is not going to accept that stuff.
Absolutely, it's not going to be okay. It's just not. It's just not going to be okay.
Right.
I can tell you, there's a lot of not okay people.
Oh, well, we
on the internet. Like
most people are not okay.
Most people.
Yeah, we get it.
Well, I think the sad part of it is that the most people who are not okay don't know that they're not okay.
Yeah.
And we all have struggles. We all have our issues. When you know it, you have the opportunity to then do something about it, to get the help that you need. But so many people, unhealthy living has become their norm, and it's all they know. And so they don't think that they need any help. This is good. What do you mean?
Right.
Everybody's doing this.
Right.
And that's the cognitive distortions, the unrealistic thought processing, the fact that they would say that everybody's doing this.
Right. Is the issue.
Yeah, that's the issue.
You know what else I feel like is a large issue? Going to what you're saying is that a lot of people that don't think like the people on social media or the people that you're looking for that are healthy actually really aren't on social media. If they are, they're barely on there. There is a community of realistic people who want nothing to do with social media, and you'll never be able to grab that. I mean, not never, but it's hard to grab that statistic because they're just not on there. They're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, I'm not,
because they understand what
right.
social media provides, and it doesn't feed where they are and where they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now,
so,
how do you guys feel about people that make their money on social media?
People that make their money how?
Right,
like a living, like influencing or whatever. I guess you could speak
by
more
influencing, there's like the social
that's
media
one of the topics,
model.
so we won't dig into it deep tonight because that's one of our topics in
my bad.
in one of our episodes. But I mean, doctors make money on social media, giving real information, really helping people. So it depends on what you mean. Like I think people have the right to make money if they spent $200,000 to go to school to get their degree and to get this education behind them. I think that they have the right to make money on the information that they are providing.
I hear that, and I agree. But but for the people who are making money who don't have any of those credentials, should we knock them for making their money? I don't know. I just feel like
I think
you go ahead.
I think it's the motive. So if you have somebody that's that is an influencer on social media, and they're influencing people and it's false and it's deceptive, then that's not okay. Like the young lady, I don't know the whole story, but apparently there was an influencer on social media, and now she's being sued for a lot of money because she was giving false information or whatever she was doing. That's not okay.
Right.
Yeah. You're talking about
if your intent is to deceive people, that's not okay. And I don't think that it's fair that you would be on social media to deceive people. But if you genuinely have a gift and you're able to use that gift and people are willing to pay you for that, what would make that any different than you going into the marketplace?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But to tie it in full circle, because that is an episode that we got. So to bring it back to relationship goals with that in mind, though, a lot of people I don't believe are intentionally influencing people in the wrong direction. Like Derek Jackson, I do think he's a little bit overboard, but I don't know that he was intentionally misleading people. I just think he is unknown of his mental, of whatever he has going on in his emotional health, because he's clearly a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Like all those signs showed through his social media. He gave out advice, basically defined himself to women and told them to never be with him, all the while being married. Like, if you want to wrap it up in a nutshell, and women took it and ate it up. And I don't know how much you can call that intentional. And then I'll take it a step further, because like Steve Harvey, we're not gonna call him a social media influencer. He was naturally a social media influencer because he's Steve Harvey. You know what I'm saying? So he was Steve Harvey before social media, but he has adapted pretty well to the social media movement throughout his career. You know, we know he made a book called Think Like a Man. Women ate that book up, and okay, there was some good stuff in there, but there was also some stuff that I was picking out with my girlfriend that I just thought is unhealthy to tell people or to make to women like realistic. Now I understand there's a tradition out there, and that's cool. This generation is not so much used to the traditional as are not women. And so he said this one thing where he was like, and this is in the book, if you go into the car and you out on a date with a man and he don't open that passenger door for you, he is categorizing you as a chirp chirp girl, and you're not a chirp chirp girl, and you need to move on. Like, that's not true. There could be a lot of things on that man's mind while he is taking this girl out on this date, and he might have missed it this time. And if she just says, hey, I really prefer when a dude opens the door out for me. That's how I was raised. That's what I like. That's what I am used to in my life. And if he don't mess it up from there on out, there's no need to even have this conversation. But a woman is going to, there are women who have now read that book, said, and cut him off on a first or second date. Could have had mad good qualities. Didn't open that door. It was checkmate from there. And now they out of here. When he could have been a really good dude for you if you just said, yo, I like when dudes open the door for me. I'm gonna need you to get used to that. You know what I'm saying? I'll correct you a couple more times. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see how good you are with your listening skills. But I like dudes that open the door for me. But that don't mean there's a lot of nerves going through a dude's body, just like a woman, when he might be trying to get the car warm. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you don't know.
Or
how
I hear what you're saying, or he just never was taught.
Or he never was taught.
And
he done
so
made do.
The whole idea of the opening of the door is something I don't even know if young women even want that these days. This is a whole nother generation.
And half of them don't.
They want to show the shoes. They want to show the red bottom of their shoes, and they want to show the purse.
They want to say, "I don't need no man to open no door for me. I got this."
Right.
So I don't really know. That of course is a my day thing. And I'm sure there are still men in this generation, but it could be because so many things have gotten dropped out of rearing, you know. And so it doesn't mean that the guy doesn't have a good heart. It doesn't mean that he thinks anything of you. It just means that he never
slipped his mind.
Never saw it.
And to be honest with you, here we go. Someone, and no shade against Steve Harvey, but he don't have not one degree in
that's what I'm saying,
psychology or mental health. And so again, the same way in which we approach social media, we have to approach people and books and platforms and consider the source.
Yeah,
Steve Harvey's a comedian.
It's important for us for people to do their own due diligence.
Right.
Shame on you if you go into a situation listening to and thinking and taking notes and putting this stuff in your back pocket, not having done your due diligence to know if this person has credible, is credible, has the training, the education, and the right to give this information. And it doesn't take anything away from him. He's a wonderful guy.
Right, absolutely.
But, you know, everybody should stay in their lane. I stay in my
funny.
lane. And it's money.
And that's why he made a comedy out of Think Like a Man. Well, Kevin Hart did. Because the stuff is really, some of it was juicy. Some of it was meaty, but a lot of it was unrealistic.
And then again, due diligence. Know when somebody is in it, you know, because it's the comedy or it's the money, it's the whatever. Do your due diligence.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So the question is, because we're over our time. We started a little late. So the question that we're going to ask at the end of each episode is, as it relates to this topic, relationship goals, is social media, is mental health sickness coming out of social media as it relates to relationship, being in relationships?
Is it making the relationship sick?
Mm-hmm.
I'll let y'all ladies answer that.
I believe so. I think it's setting like a unrealistic expectation, and then it forces you to, if you are posting your relationship, it's forcing you to upkeep and maintain the happy, relationship that you think you want everybody to think that you have. So you're cautious on what you're posting, and things like that, where that's more important. Like showing that you're in a healthy relationship to other people is more important than actually being in the healthy relationship. So.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I really truly believe that social media has ruined the dating scene. Like, it's just, like, people just don't do a lot of really great things that everybody used to do when they were dating. Like, I feel like there's a lot of pride now because of social media. Everybody's afraid to, get finessed or played or whatever. And I really, truly connect this all to social media.
Because it takes the purity out of relationship. Just having a good, wholesome, pure relationship that is an us relationship. This is who we are. And it doesn't matter who you are, what you do. This is the us relationship. And so
it's just too much access to
I
too
was
many
that was
things.
gonna be my point.
Like now anybody can get on social media. I'm using this example because it's my own experience, but and you can literally cheat at the drop of a dime. Like if you feel like it, like you just get on social media, DM somebody else, and that's it. It's over. Like before social media, you had to put in a little bit of work. You feel me to
Figure out how to cheat.
something like that. Yeah, to figure out how to cheat. Now it's just and social media has, because of that, social media has made relationships very like disposable. Like people do not care. Like I will ruin this relationship and just be on to the next one. I'll just DM the next girl or whatever.
Yeah. The access is can I get that can I build on that real quick?
Go ahead.
The access is like for while you're in a relationship, the access gets crazy when your relationship is going terrible. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the part. Like it's not just access somebody. It's not like you can access just some Joe Schmo. If you're good looking on if you're a good looking girl on Instagram, whether he's faking it or not, there's some good looking dudes in your DMs that's flexing like they got money. You know what I'm saying? Even whether they have it or not, from the picture, it looks like they have it. While you going through a broke situation with this dude that you know in and out, and it just doesn't look appeasing to this dude that just is talking in your DMs, and you go to his page and he got on Givenchy and is flexing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just flexing, even though you know it could be fake, but there's the possibility that it might be real. And right now, he's in your DMs, and your relationship is not going well. For the dude, your relationship could be going bad, or whoever you're talking to could be going bad. There is 100 women on social media that, according to society, look better than your girl, and you can just go and be like, I can have this, I can have that, I have access to this, I have access to that. I could DM her. It don't work the same for us as it work for y'all ladies as far as that whole money thing and dudes just jumping in your DMs. Ain't no women in my DMs. They like, hey, let me take you to Dubai and get you some horse and carriage and some the latest Jordans. It don't work like that. But there's still the access. You get what I'm saying? So when your relationship is in a rut versus back in the day when you just had that person and had to try to figure out how to work it out versus now, that access, I see people do it all the time. I mean, that's how cheating. That's really I don't know the statistics, but I would say that's how cheating works these days more than anything.
Well, studies show that the bigger the role social media plays in a person's life, the less satisfying their romantic relationships are. So that kind of, in a nutshell, sums up what you all are saying. And the problem, though, is we can give all the tips in the world, but the biggest tip is to get your butt off of social media. And
Or go to
nobody's doing
therapy.
that.
Or go to therapy.
Nobody is willing to do that. And so, because social media has become so addictive that you can know that this is harmful to your emotional health. You can hear all the statistics in the world and still be not be able to put it down. And I'm not saying get off of it altogether, but the studies show that when you minimize, when you decrease your viewing and your scrolling, stress levels go down, sadness dissipates, you're less depressed, less anxious. And if you can read a statistic and know that the studies are showing this, but still unable to do what it takes, we can give all the tips in the world, but you have to get to the place where it's like, I really want to be healthy in the area of relationships. Relationships are going to be what we're in for the rest of our life. And so I want to be able to choose. I want to be able to make good decisions. I want to be able to detect and do my due diligence. I don't want to be feeling so lonely that I'll compromise and do anything that I need to do in order to get into the relationship and totally neglect the due diligence and fall for anything. And so it's really important that when you do get into a relationship, I think that that your relationships should be to the extent where you make this commitment to each other that it's just going to be about what our unique relationship is going to be about. It's going to be about the us. And that's such a beautiful gift that you can give to each other, to make a decision that you are not going to compromise your relationship by the comparisons on social media, by, why can't you be like? The
Mm.
grass is always greener. There's always going to be something in someone else that looks better than what you have, but you're not seeing the something in someone else that is not as good as what you have. And so I think making that decision up front, that this is going to be a boundary. We are going to limit the social media use as it relates to relationships, not, the other things, staying connected with families and things like that. You can make a decision who you follow. You can make a decision what kind of content you allow to, come on your feeds. You can block who you want to block or what you want to block. And to me, in order to stay in a healthy relationship and not fall for those 60-second sound bites and not know what happens in the 23 hours and 59 minutes of the day of that person, if you want to be able to avoid those dangers, making that commitment up front will save the health of your relationship. And so those who haven't gotten into relationship yet, and falling into those irrational thought patterns, if you find that daily you are so in such a lonely spot that your excessive scrolling and what you are watching on social media is feeding a place in your soul, a place in your spirit that that's dangerous. You need to have conversations with other people, with people, not just on social media, but have real contact with people, run things by people, say, I was watching this, or I got connected with this person, because people who are not in it at the moment can see a lot more clearly than you, when you are the person that's, in it in that moment. And so, I just encourage you, if you really want to be healthy, if you really want to get into healthy relationships, that you make a decision not to compromise using social media as your measuring stick of what health looks like, and do your due diligence. Look these people up. You can find out anything about anybody. You Google people, you can find out whether they're real, whether they're not. You can get reviews on them. You'll get all kind of information on people. And so, shame on anyone who falls into these situationships uh, with whomever, and then get stuck. The other thing is, a good therapist can help. If you find that you just cannot seem to do this on your own, and you're sliding down that slippery slope of emotional health, and find a good therapist. Mending Hearts has a lot of good therapists. We have some shaking of the heads. And so I just encourage you not to accept you're better than that. And I encourage you not to accept just anything in your life. Relationships are designed to be long lasting. And so you want to avoid the heartbreak of fake relationships. Yeah. And I'm going to end on that note. So thank you so much. Q had to excuse herself. She had an emergency, but we thank her for being on tonight. Thank you, Karan. Thank you, Kiera and Tori, for joining us tonight. And you're going to see them again because they are part of our panelists who have agreed to show up more than once. And so we are excited about the topics that are to come. And we are going to talk about isolation and what that breeds. And we're going to talk about what was that one we highlighted earlier about social media influencers and what kind of impact that has on people. We're going to talk about teens in social media, and we have a lot of good topics. And so don't miss any of the weeks. For the next 8 weeks, we're going to be coming on live at 7:30 p.m. And we look forward to seeing you. Don't forget to go over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you get reminders of when some good content is posted. Thank you so much. Go ahead. You can still like and share with your family and friends, and we will see you again next week. Have a good one.